Good morning. Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Let's take a clearing breath and come here to this space, now place. As we step into the emotional body again today, and be with it and create that trust within our emotional body, that safety. Good morning, Susan. So glad you're here. Welcome. So, trust is a pretty big place to be, and especially when it's within our inner journey, because there's probably a lot of people that have, I'd imagine there's a lot of people that have been betrayed, hurt, and rejected. And you may be one of those people. And you go through life and think that it's not fair. Why me? And then we want to take into that witness place and say, well, in the yogic world, there's a thing called dharma, and it's believed that we've created agreements with one another prior to coming back to this pain plane, or this plane. I like to think of it as heaven on earth. So my vow is to co-create heaven on earth with all of you, because that's where I want to live. And so I've got to just be the Pied Piper and lead the way. So, for myself, I had the misfortune or the fortune of being exposed to and left with a pedophile when I was 4. So, but my parents didn't know any better. They're 19 years old when they had me, and they wanted to have. My brother was born when I was 4, and they needed a place to put me, just while they got a handle on having 2 children, I guess. I'm not really sure. And it doesn't really matter. But, and because it was pre-7, I really had no recollection of it, but I knew I had a hypersensitivity. I had a hypersensitivity to certain extenuating things within my environment. And then when I was never planning on having children, and I didn't really know why. And I didn't need to know why. But when I did have children, whoa, my hypersensitivity went off the charts. My husband at the time, he'd kiss my baby on the lips, and I would be mortified. I'd mortified. So, we become more attuned to things like that, and that's when I was first introduced to muscle testing and to kinesiology, Psych K work, was back then, because I needed to know that I was harmed by somebody, but I just needed to know that it wasn't my father, because he would be exposed to my children, etc., etc. So took some steps in that direction. So, when we go, and the biggest thing that showed up for me was not trusting my own decisions. And making some pretty bad decisions in my growth and my journey with like-minded people, and then also stepping into some really great decisions. And but what happens is, getting to those great decisions took a whole lot of energy, and it was work. And this is work. And it started my practice of creating a loving foundation for life, for myself, and how it worked for me. And that's part of my journey that I share with you, because I think at the end of the day, I did a pretty good job. It just took me a lot longer than I expected. But it wasn't without greatness and dips and valleys along the way. And it's about celebrating those peaks and celebrating those mountains or those valleys. It's like, oh, yay, I'm down here again in the washing machine, or I'm in the hamster wheel, or I'm snotty nose crying on the floor. But what am I going to do now? what a great space to go. I have awareness where I am, and um, and I know the journey that I need to take. I need to take that journey of trust, trusting with my inner self. Because if we really can't trust ourselves, guess what? We're not going to really trust a lot of other people, or we will think that people are smarter than us, better than us. I'm not good enough. I should have done this. You should have done this. And then we give our power away. So when we work with trust and we sit with trust, we take a look at where our battles are. Do we really want to get healed? Or are we stuck to that story that we talked about yesterday? That's the biggest question. That's the biggest permission. And then we have the ego. The ego that thinks that it knows better than we do. You know, it's protecting us from all those years and years and years of downloads. That was the hypersensitivity. That was the ego. Wow, you can't let him kiss your baby on the lips. You can't let him bathe the baby. Oh my gosh, what might happen? Yeah, my poor husband at the time. But we learn from it and we grow from it. And that's part of our experience of life. And it's okay. And it's part of our journey. That's how we get wise. That's where our wisdom comes from. We start at different places within our lives. You know, in the Abraham Hicks, they have one of her talks, she explained this to somebody, because we are accountable for all that is in our lives. Every single thing. We attract, we account, we are accountable to every single thing that's in our lives. And sometimes that's hard to understand too. And so this girl stood up and was on the microphone and said, so why then was I a child, sexually abused as a child, and basically she said, I'm really sorry to hear that. But when you look at it and you think, you've been brought back onto this earth plane and you're here for really great things. So if you want to be in that greatness and you're a professional athlete or an Olympic athlete, do you go and play against the weakest opponent? Do you go and take that easy road? Do you do one less push-up or one less sit-up than everybody else? Or do you do one more push-up, one more sit-up than anybody else? Do you take that extra one lap around the track? Where is it that you think you're going to get your greatest teachings early enough to allow you to step into this greatness in this lifetime? So it might sound a little egotistical or big-headed, but I don't believe it is. It is a bigger journey. It is a greater journey. So if you have hypersensitivities or you know that there's something a little quirky, be gentle with yourself. It took me a long time to learn to be gentle with myself. I had to become a studyaholic first. I had to become a workaholic later. Then I had to become a wineaholic because I really wanted to numb myself. And now now I'm facing my fears and trusting in my inner journey, because at the moment that I pressed live on Facebook, my Facebook lives was really the first time I stepped into my full trust of myself. And here we are, episode 24, and I still get so nervous before I press live, and I still have that self-doubt, and I still get off of my lives, and I have to be really prepared to rewatch them and do it from a place of love and doing what best I can in the moment that we have. And, and when I do this, and in this inner work, I have to follow my intuitions as well. My intuition is guiding me on this journey with our talks. And I think it's doing a pretty good job from the feedback that I've been getting. And I hang on every word of that feedback. So thank you so very much. Maybe there will become a time when I'm not hanging on that word of your feedback, but for now, I am truly appreciative with the love that's sent. So thank you. And once we can come into this place where we're in our deep diaphragmatic breath, where we're grounded and centered and aligned, that's where our intuition flourishes. That's where we can hear better, listen better to what our intuitive knowingness is guiding us to. We don't have that saber-toothed tiger or that ego trying to keep us safe, banging on the door saying, beware, beware, and bringing us into this fight, flight, freeze, collapse breathing in the upper chest. We're reminded with our awareness, with our daily minute by minute practice, that we breathe into the lower abdomen. We create this safety container, and greater possibilities are there. Greater possibilities will just rise up in your life. They'll just rise up, where your why becomes greater than your fear, and your trust becomes bigger than your doubt, and your desire to live a full life filled with as much bliss and heaven on earth that you can possibly create is available and in front of you, and is happening. And sure, people may fall away, and sure, people may look at you and say that you've changed. It's like those crabs in the bucket. One's trying to get out. For whatever reason, the rest of the crabs don't follow. They try to pull that other one back down into the bucket. It's a really interesting form in nature. So at least we know it's a derivative of nature. And we can respect the people that aren't ready for that awakening, for that higher vibratory life. Good morning, Carl. And who aren't ready to do the work. And sometimes it comes when we're 20, and sometimes it comes when we're 50, and sometimes it comes when we're 80, and sometimes maybe it just doesn't come. And that's okay. So let's bring our attention and our awareness into our feet on the floor, and get ready to do our grounding and centering and lining. Creating that container, feeling the sit bones on your chair or the ground or wherever you're sitting. If you're laying down, allow the body to feel the tension of where you're laying, not tension, the support of where you're laying. And allow the tension to release into that support, knowing that the body is being fully supported. We're not unsupported. We've got the darn support of the chair, for heaven's sakes. We got the support of the earth beneath our feet. If we're laying down, we have support of the bed that's holding us up. If we're laying on the floor, we have the floor that's supporting us. We're always supported. And heavens, when we get grounded, we've got the earth and divine source universe supporting us in this water body, keeping us here, giving us a high tide, a low tide, and allowing us to feel safe where we are, and trusting our inner journey, trusting our external journey. So let's imagine those etheric feet and those tree roots coming out of the bottom of our feet. Let's take that time to really see where, be directive, give the direction, imagine it in your head. That the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. Those roots are going down to that center core of the earth. Without a doubt, it's there. And allow that, wrap it around that crystalline core earth, that powerhouse of energy. Wow. What a gift. And allow it to come up the same line that you had just created to get down there. Up, up, up into the full foot, the bottom of the foot. Now to turn on all your sensory to experience that journey down to the corner of the earth, and experience that journey up and into the foot and into the internal body, and giving the body permission to accept and receive this beautiful energy, and permission to heal. This Mother Earth energy, grounding energy, Wow, do you feel any sensations coming into your legs? Is there tingling as it goes into the calves and the knees and the thighs? Do you feel that groundedness in your sit bones as it enters into the hips and comes all through front, back, sides of the body into this miraculous area of the body, this torso area? This is where all our major energy centers are housed in this small area. Oh, it's just miraculous. And allow all that energy to go in every cell and every space within this place. And bringing up, allow Mother Earth energy to just wash over our shoulders and give your neck some movement in your shoulders, roll them back and allow your wings to come out and feel that energy into your hands and into the neck and into the head, filling the full head, allowing that liquid and that space in the cranium so we can think, and almost makes our eyes feel like they're bigger or wider, and out through the top of the crown, the Sahasrara, the seventh chakra, right at the top and down the outside of the body. At some point in time in our journey, we will go through the chakras. We are going through the chakras now. I'm just not doing it in a way that's more book directive. I'm working with intuitively with what I think in this moment in time we directly need to work with. And it is all part of that. It's just not delivered in that way. It's delivered in a way that we're actually working with the biofield in conjunction with the energy centers. Let's take that fine line from the bottom to the center of the core of the earth, that fine line that we're creating now. We're centering into this line and taking it up to divine. Source, universe, creator, higher self, the place of many names, and you're at choice which name you use. Now allow this golden white light to come down into the top of the crown and into the body, and allow this golden white light, it's a healing divine light, this knowingness that goes into the body, this golden white light, allow it to fill all the spaces, down through the legs, co-joining energies with Mother Earth, and allow these two energy forces to be with us. And take some time here and welcome these energies and know that they're always with us. And throughout the day, check where we are with these energies. Are we walking around in our head? Are we disassociating from our lower extremities, our legs and our feet? Are we disassociating from our entire body? Do we need to bring ourselves back in? Sometimes I literally have to pull myself back in. And then trust in this place. This is where we learn to envelope our trust in ourselves. This place of knowingness, this is a great place to ask questions, to sit in silence. This is a great place where we let go of ego as we move into our meditation. And we bring in that concentration on the mantra that allows to take that chaos out of our minds. So let's check in where we're breathing to and bring in that deep diaphragmatic breath if it's not fully engaged. That 1 on the lower abdomen, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's okay if you're not fully there yet. It doesn't happen overnight. Just allow that belly breath to be there, putting your hand on your lower abdomen, and just see if you can get that hand to expand with the inhalation and allow it to naturally fall into the abdomen on the exhalation. Baby steps. And trusting our inner truths and in our inner trust. And bringing in the so hum as we go into the outro. Stay as long as you can, stay as long as you like, leave when you need. Inhaling on the so, exhaling on the hum. And really allow the body to release any tensions. Just even simply with the topic that we just talked about today. Sit with that. Acknowledge any betrayals, but do not go into the story. Be aware of them. And as we walk through the inner body, as we step into the inner body, maybe that be a little beacon of what the body needs and where it needs it. Where in the body, where in your body do they have the hand up saying, pick me, pick me? And if you can't find anything, that's perfectly fine. The body only puts its hand up when it's ready, when it feels it's safe enough, where the trust has been established with the body that we're going to show up. Or it may show up in a trigger throughout the day. And with all grace and awareness, be gentle with yourself. And remove yourself from the environment that you're in. And just step back and take a breath and create that word to ground into the earth. And call up that earth energy. Come on, Mother Earth. Dearest Mother, I need you now. She too is one of our parents. Mother Earth, Father Sky. And they'll help us to reparent ourselves, to learn that trust, that inner trust, so we stop giving our power away. I'm going to bring in one of the chimes today. They're called Koshi chimes, and I believe they're from Peru, and they're all the elements. So I'm going to work with the water chime today. I'd love to know what you think and how it affected your nervous system. This is just creating another level of awareness into what might be used as an external resource, external strength for you. We're creating internal and external strengths as we go through this. Choose whatever mudra you like for your hands, or even just holding them up on the tops of your thighs. Or bring in the regulating. If you feel that something's been triggered, do bring in the regulating at the feet or the hands on the thighs, or even rock. This is your time. I'll chill. They're beautiful little chimes. So we'll sit in silence for about 3 minutes, and we'll work with some cards for an offering. I'll be quiet now. Thank you for being here. I love you. Thank you so much for being here today. Our little heart card today. I love who I am. I love who I am becoming. Wow. I love these little cards. I love who I am. I love who I am becoming. And I love who you are and who you are becoming. Because all I know is after this journey together, we're not going to be the same person we were when we began. And that is the human becoming. Yay. Make it a great day.